everyone, today we're doing the Coffee Lovers book tag, and since I work at a coffee shop and obviously really like coffee, I thought it would be a great tag for me to do, and I've been looking forward to it for a while, so let's get started. So good. For the first question, it's black. Name a series that's difficult to get into but has a hardcore fan base. And since I don't read a ton of books that have wildly huge fandoms, like, I don't know, The Hunger Games, I've never read those books, I chose a smaller fandom base to go on. But Cherished Mercies by Tracy Peterson, I've seen a lot of good reviews about this on Goodreads and Amazon. It's the third book in the series, but the only one I've read. And unfortunately, it was really hard for me to get into, hard enough that I never got into it. Number 2, Peppermint Mocha. Name a book that gets more popular during the winter or festive time of year. And I don't know if this gets more popular with everyone because it was published quite a while ago and I've pretty much not heard hardly anybody talk about it, but that is a travesty because this book, oh my goodness, Dearwood Incorporated made me laugh more than probably about half the other books I've ever read combined. This book is hilarious, and every time I read it, I laugh again and again and again. And if you can't tell from the cover, which I'll hold it up there, or maybe put it up on the screen, but the two main characters in the cover are sliding down a snow-covered hill on a mattress. And it's a heist that these kids, they're like 12 or something, 11 and 12, and anyways, it's a great book and it's hilarious and has lots of good family time, and it cracks me up every time I even think about it. So you should totally read this. It's by Jerry Massey, who's one of my favorite authors. I grew up with her books, as in I remember as a 3-year-old laying on the floor in the living room and having my sister read not this book but another series by this author. So number 3, Hot Chocolate. What is your favorite children's book? And I have about 10 of them that fall into that range that I cannot choose between. But since it's winter, and you hear my bunny back there, I decided to go with The Mitten because it is about a boy who lost his mitten and what happens to it when he's gone. And it is hilarious and one of those absolutely beautifully illustrated books that totally stole hours of my time as I gazed longingly through the pictures and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want to live here. So yes, it's well worth the read. Number 4, Double Shot of Espresso. Name a book that had you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. And I chose The Mark of the King by Jocelyn Green. Not because it's gripping, as in like the storyline is so incredible that you can't put it down, but because she chose a most fascinating period of history. And when I was reading it, I was like, no, this could not have really happened in real life. And so I'd be reading, then I'd pull out my phone and be Googling. I'm like, oh my goodness, it really did happen. And then I'd have to read more. I even borrowed a flashlight from my grandma. We were traveling from her house back home. It was just like a 45-minute drive actually to a hotel. But I actually borrowed a flashlight from her so I could read in the car on the way home because it was that amazing and gripping. And I could not believe that what happened in this book actually happened in real life till I looked it up for myself. And y'all totally should read this book and be amazed at America's history. Number 5, Starbucks. Name a book that you see everywhere. And I chose How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie because this is one of the all-time classics since he wrote it. I don't even know how many millions of copies have been sold, but a whole lot. I don't know. Anyways, it's just crazy how many books this guy has sold. He died a long time ago. But his influence obviously lives on through this fantastic nonfiction read that will help you to become a better person. Number 6, The Hipster Coffee Shop, which I don't think I work at a hipster coffee shop, but at least it's like an independent coffee shop, so that's pretty cool. But anyways, give an indie author a shout out, and I am going with Kate Willis's Twin Arrows book. I got to review it last year, and it is so beautifully descriptive. I just wanted to fall into the pages. The plot to me wasn't really that unusual or special, but the way the story came about just it was beautiful, and I cannot wait to read the sequel, which she is working on now. So yeah. Number 7, oops, I accidentally got decaf. Name a book that you are expecting more from. And I went with the first book that instantly popped into my mind, and it was one that really disappointed me because the premise was so amazing. It's Junebug, and you can see right here that has a cool cover, but it's about this girl. It starts out, back up a little bit. I actually read the sample chapters on Amazon, but I didn't have money to buy the book, and so for a couple of years I was like, I wonder what happened next. I want to read more. I want to read more. And then I was at the library and I was like, oh my goodness, I can get the book. So I found it, and I was so excited because I had been curious about it for a couple of years. Like, no kidding, guys. And then I started reading it, and the premise is so out there, like so high up. I mean, like it's the best premise ever, pretty much. Not really, but it kind of fell flat for me, which is really disappointing. I'm sure there are people who absolutely adore it, but I think I built it up too much in my mind. But the premise is this girl goes to Walmart and she sees a picture of herself on the like missing child registry, and then it's all about like, oh my goodness, who is her dad then, and what is she doing, etc., etc. And so yeah, but that book kind of fell flat for me, unfortunately, because yeah. That's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm tagging Kate Willis to do this on her blog, and I will leave a link in the description below. Yeah, we won't mention the fact that I'm actually drinking tea during this vlog about coffee. What can I say? I do really like coffee, but on days that I do not work at the coffee shop, I don't do caffeine, and therefore tea.